right, welcome to another edition of Black and Gold Radio, presented by Skyhawk Sports Radio Network. This week, Scott travels up I-77 to face the Sissonville Indians. Coach, first of all, congratulations on your big win last week over rival Chapmanville.
You know, that's a great win, especially for the community, because it is a rival game, and the communities look forward to it. And it's one of those wins that gets your fan base on board. I really believe now the student body and the community are excited about this season. They kind of wait for that game before they really get with it, and we look forward to moving on after that.
Coach, you're 3-0. Like we just said, you knocked off Chapmanville, and you also knocked off Hoover, who beat you in close games last year. How do you feel about the overall state of your team so far?
I think the difference started in the offseason with the mature leadership of this senior class and the attitude of overcoming adversity when it's in front of you. I felt like last year we lost that ability late in the game to handle challenges and obstacles and overcome them. And these young men, the second half of both of those games we've owned. And I think that not only shows our conditioning, but it shows a resolve by this group of seniors to finish things, and that's huge.
Right now, you're ranked number 2 in the state. Coming in playing a good Sissonville team who's had a couple of bad games against some better teams. They're 1-2 right now. What are you going to try to press against Sissonville? What are you going to try to do? Are you doing any type of different schemes? Are you doing anything different to try to change things up a little bit for something different they haven't seen yet?
Sure. First off, we got to get the young men to understand they're a very good 1-2 football team. We're going to see some things from Sissonville that we've yet to see as far as challenges. Most of the teams we've played have been built on size, and we've been able to just put enough speed on the field to take the game over. Sissonville is going to be able to match our speed. It's almost like looking in a mirror. So what we've got to be able to do now is make sure that we win the first 2 steps of the play. That first second or two that unfolds, we've got to match the intensity and the speed on getting off the ball. And then we've got to throw a couple of wrinkles in there as we move forward to try to generate opportunities for us with the offensive line to put Sissonville in a situation where they're not comfortable with the formation. The success we've had has given us a chance to play with the offense a little bit this week, explore a few little different packages, and we're excited now to throw those things on the field.
Coach, you talked about that speed. It obviously gave Chapmanville fits because you put up video game type stats, over 400 yards of offense, 399 of it was on the ground. That's stuff that college teams can't put up. What did you see on the tape or throughout the game that made you think you'd be able to do that?
We felt like when we broke the film down that we were going to be able to get the edge without doing anything fancy, just letting our backs and their open field speed get the edge for us. And what that forced Chapmanville's defense to do was to start playing outside, widen out. That started giving us some lanes. And right before halftime, the series before halftime, we ran a couple of plays on purpose just to see how their middle linebackers were playing. And that gave us a chance to go in at halftime, just change a little blocking scheme on a little ISO play, scored 3 times on it in the second half, and it really paid off for us.
A few weeks back in Lincoln County, you moved with the injury to Bo Jeffrey, you moved Kirk Price to quarterback. Setting him now back at a running back position and having Kirk with his arm and his speed to quarterback, what kind of dynamics does that change with your offense?
Kirk's a playmaker. Anytime he's got the ball in his hands, exciting things can happen. But as a coach, I've also got to be aware of he's a small frame. Mm-hmm. You don't want to abuse that body, especially this early in the season. But we like having Kirk back there. He's a competitor. He's intelligent. He managed the offense real well against Chapmanville. Gave us good time of possession with how he controlled the clock. And having Bo as an athlete on the field, I think his presence is a calming atmosphere because now you've got 2 guys out there that have managed the offense and they're working together. And I think that's the key to this group of young men right now. There's no jealousy in them. They just simply want to play the role they need to play that week for us to be successful. And as long as we can continue to pursue that common purpose, it's going to be a great season. But having those 2 together, it's a dynamic backfield with all the other weapons. I would hate to see us standing across the field,
Yeah.
Coach, as we said, reiterate it. You're 3-0. You're heading up to Sissonville. It's their homecoming game. They're going to be a little extra amped up. What are you going to tell your kids heading into that game to maybe keep them grounded going into that game?
Yeah, the first thing we talked about Monday was success breeds its own adversity. Nobody is relaxed week one because nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let yourself at 3-0 get relaxed and satisfied. The second thing is nobody's jealous at week one because nobody's accomplished anything yet. But then all of a sudden when you start posting stats, you start posting wins, things start to happen. So we want these guys to understand it's still about pursuing the common purpose, and the common purpose is making the playoffs. The common purpose is competing in the playoffs and moving to Willie. So we've not accomplished anything yet. I think we've got to look at Sissonville, not only as at homecoming, but they're going to be a pack of starved wolves because their playoff life is on the line. If you start off 1-3 in the Cardinal Conference, you're probably not going to see, November.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to face a team that started 3 weeks ago believing they were going to go to the playoffs, and they're fighting for their life right now.
All right, you heard it right there from Coach Shane Griffith. Coach, good luck Friday night.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
This broadcast is brought to you by Boone County Sheriff Randall White. The Skyhawks Sports Radio Network and the Scott Skyhawks baseball team appreciate Sheriff White's contributions to the county and this broadcast. Sheriff Randall White says, "Go Skyhawks."
All right, we're back with assistant coach Nick Shreve. Coach, first off, congratulations. Your team held Chapmanville to low numbers. I think you told me earlier, only 41 yards on the ground. That's big considering they throw two running backs at you that can move the ball. What was your success last Friday night?
Well, mostly it boils down to our 5 guys up front just playing. They're just playing good ball right now. Playing their position, not trying to do too much, just playing their assignment. And our linebackers just, we were able to keep our linebackers clean. They could scrape to everything and set it down.
We all know the old saying, defense wins championships. You're 3-0 right now. You're ranked number 2 in AA, sitting on top of the Cardinal Conference. How far can your Black Hammer defense take this team?
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. You never know. You might slip up along the way, but I expect, when homecoming with big bad Wayne rolling in, for us to be sitting 6-0 waiting on them and, having something to give them when they get here.
Coach, as you said, you're 3-0. What type of overall does this do for your defense to be amped up, giving up against a rival such low yardage going into a Sissonville game that kind of matches your speed and intensity?
It just builds great confidence. We won a tough one, week 1 against Hoover. Started out, gave up a bunch of points, and then shut them down in the second half. Pretty much shut down Lincoln County. For the most part, shut down Chapmanville. We just keep getting better week in and week out, finding different guys that can step in and, give a couple guys a break when they need it. Just finding guys that can play. Like last week, Odie Loftus, probably our best, what we consider to be our best middle linebacker, couldn't play, and, we had guys step up, and, we shut down Chapmanville.
We know you're getting a couple of guys back that you've been expecting. They've been out suspensions and stuff, and you're pretty healthy right now. What do we expect out of those guys to help contribute towards the defensive side of the ball?
Well, like you said, we're pretty well healthy. Aaron Grant's a little dinged up, so right now the plan is to rest him defensively because we need him more so on the offensive side. So, one of those guys, OJ, Sheriff, as you guys call him, we're looking for him to step right in and pick up where he left off 2 years ago.
Coach, last thing, what's your keys to the game to be successful on Friday night?
Basically shut down. They like to run some power with their big backs. So we got to be ready, shut down the inside stuff and contain number 7. He's a kid, he's not a real big kid, but he's got the type of speed that, if he makes a couple guys misses and gets in open field, he's dangerous. He can take it to the house at any point on the field.
All right, there it is from assistant coach Nick Shreve. Friday night, Scott versus Sissonville Indians. Come out and support your number 2 ranked Scott Skyhawks as they travel up and play Sissonville on homecoming. Thanks for watching.